Oh my god, I remember that when I was a kid.
To say congratulations to all the students in the class of 2004.
Oh my god, what? Graduating in 2004 is insane.
This is the class of 2004 from Ray County High
Nigga, they
School
gave
in
me my wings.
Evansville, Tennessee.
Oh, they gave me one wing. They gave me 2001 wing.
Spilled milk all over my garage, and I look like I peed myself.
Now, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but recently it has become pretty trendy for old recordings from the early 2000s to resurface, with everyone in the comments talking about how much better those times were in just about every way. While scrolling through these comments, one of them stood out to me the most.
Just a childhood
It reads,
bias, bro.
I did grow up in the 90s. No matter what you say, a fact is a fact. Families were closer then. At the very least, they spent more time together. Anyone could get a job at 18 and make a living and buy a house. Food was real. Drugs weren't killing as many people as they do now.
Bro, I feel like one thing that is a reason why the numbers are higher, but also why the things appear worse, is because we have access to so much more shit. Before, you were just in your own little bubble, your own little world. You knew who you knew. You lived where you lived. You ain't know shit about nowhere else unless you actually went there or you heard about it on the news. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the news said was fact to you. You know what I'm saying? Like a nigga that grew up on the farm ain't know nothing about the city life. You know, that was a completely different thing. And now those same people in the farm got access to learning about the city life. They have full access to see what it's about, the good and the bad. And unfortunately, especially right now, bro, negativity sells. So next thing you know, everybody's seeing all the bad in life, and everything seems like it's way worse. Like life was so much better back then. No, you just didn't have information to the bad what's going on. Bad shit, wars and shit. We have access to so much stuff we get to see. I'm not gonna say we get to see because it sounds like something that is an enjoyment or like it sounds like something that's entertainment. But we do see everything. We see everything, bro. So it's like that's what makes it seem like it's worse. And also, I think more people are doing more things, but at the same time, I think that goes back to the fact that we have social media now, bro. So if you want to say anything, bro, you can say social media ruin things, but I don't even think that's the case, bro. I think it's good that we have more information and more access to the world, and we know more things that are going on. It's gonna make us better, but you gotta really look at it from that lens, because you know I don't think life got any worse necessarily. I mean, I was a kid in the 2000s, bro, so I didn't have no responsibilities, but I wouldn't say life got worse necessarily, bro.
College was affordable. Cars were affordable. Rent was affordable.
The economy did go to
no auto-tune or fake digital crap, and people could actually play instruments. Music could make you feel emotions. Suicide rates were lower. Crime was lower. It's not an opinion, it's fact. The 90s and 2000s were a better place to live. What's that? This isn't a comment under a video about the 2000s, but it's actually under one about the 1970s.
Sears?
This is unreal. Isn't this disgusting? Why doesn't anybody contact the president? Why is he letting
They were saying the same thing about every generation, bro.
The decade with historic stagflation, an oil crisis, unprecedented political controversy, and when the economy was so bad that the most powerful city in the nation was burning down and going bankrupt. These are the glory days we so desperately want to return to. Oh, and you, the viewer, wouldn't have even noticed if I didn't mention it wasn't about the 90s. The fact of the matter is this comment could pass for being about the 80s, 90s, noughties. Hell, I've even seen similar things said about the early 2010s.
Nigga, what?
What I think many people don't understand is that this is a tale as old as time. The trope about the good old days and how back then, especially when we were younger, the world was just objectively better. Our parents bask in the memories of the big hair and rock of the 80s. Our grandparents long for the uniformity of the pre-counterculture era. But now it's millennials and Gen Z's turn 60s, to experience
bro. Oh my
senility.
God.
As we too
any nigga that want to go back
honest,
to the 60s is not black, is not Mexican. They are not any other race besides a goddamn, bro. I'm telling you, them like you can only be one race, and you know what race I'm talking about. You can only be one race, nostalgic for the 60s of all places, bro.
Nostalgia and obsess over an idyllic past that never existed.
Do you recall not long ago when you would walk on the sidewalk?
Today I wanted to talk about why we are so obsessed with the past, our childhood, and why no matter how bad things may have objectively been in that
I know the
past,
answer already.
we still
Oh my God, this
seem to
do-rag
see
keep
them
fucking
in
up.
such a glorious light.
I'm gonna have to retie this damn do-rag, bro.
This is a recording of what the brain sees. What we are looking at is a reconstruction of a
Wait, what?
patient's brain activity while watching different Hollywood trailers. This was
That
done
is
by having
wild.
subjects
How do they
watch
do that?
hours of trailers while in a functional MRI machine, which then recorded levels of activity around the brain and decoded and translated it into these images. Now, I don't know how scientifically legit this was or
Yeah, I'm about to
is,
say
but
that
it
don't
did
even-
remind me
the
of
fuck?
something quite interesting. Now, I know you're like, what the hell does Stevie Nicks or 80s music have to do with this?
I can hear the video,
But
by the
it
way.
kind of reminds me of a pothead-like idea I had, that one of the reasons older media inherently feels so nostalgic, no matter your age, is because of their grainy, blurry resolution and how our thoughts possibly present themselves in a similar low-res way. Now, I know some of you are probably like, well, no shit, older media feels nostalgic because
I did not expect bro to look like this. What the fuck? Yo. Now look, bro. We've been having a lot of people who make these videos, react to our channel, our reactions. So shout out to them. I'm not getting on you, bro. If you see this video, this is just an interesting look. I hope you understand that. Now I do have a question. What made you get these tattoos in this specific place? Because I see you have room on your arm. I'm assuming you're not fully tatted everywhere else. Like, I have tattoos myself, bro. So I'm just asking, like, what made you get tattoos on your face like that? Like, do you still fuck with them? When did you get the? Oh my god, I'm gonna call cramp. Jesus Christ. When did you get those? That shit crazy as nice, but he does not have the voice of somebody who has tattoos like that, bro. Cramp.
it's literally just older in general. And while that is true, I would still point out that even today, younger people will use grainy filters to represent that something was a long ago memory, despite never living through the times where that technology was common.
Oh man, I hate this song. I hate this song.
Again, it's obvious that this could just be to replicate the lower quality of video back then, but I still think that maybe our memories also exist in the same way, and the further back they are, the more fuzzy and grainy they get, making low quality retro video feel like a universally accurate method to convey that something is an older, childhood-like memory.
I don't like digitally see memories, bro.
So right off the
I just
bat,
remember
a
shit.
huge reason the past, and especially your childhood, is so idyllic in your memories is simply because you're delusional. Now, this isn't just me insulting you, but is also largely agreed upon psychology. In psychoanalysis,
I just can't believe
nostalgia
this
is
nigga
considered
talks like this
not
regularly,
only
bro.
as a longing for the past, but a longing for an idealized past for a moment that never actually existed.
Damn.
The screen memory, as Freud conceived, is a combination of different memories, an inaccurate account of the past, in which memories are included or overlooked after the fact. Nostalgia, a concept for which memory is at the heart, is triggered by an evocation of something we recognize from our past. We must consider, however, that this moment or feeling that we recall may in fact be airbrushed or fictionalized by our memory. Freud even theorized that memories of our childhood are instead memories of memories, that the memory's emotional agenda has distorted our impressions of the past and colored our experiences. It may indeed be questioned whether we have any memories at all from our childhood. Memories
Nigga, what?
relating to our childhood may be all that we possess. Our childhood memories show us our earliest years, not as they were, but as they appeared at the later periods when the memories were aroused.
I remember exactly how I felt to be in 5th grade, bro. I remember moments exactly as they happened in 5th grade, bro. Real shit. How I felt in those specific moments. What? Nigga, what?
In these periods of arousal, the childhood memories did not, as
If
people
my
are
memory is not
accustomed
real,
to
then what
say,
is real?
emerge. They were formed at that time, and a number of motives with no concern for historical accuracy
sound like a
had a
fucking
part in
Boruto-
forming them,
Boruto
as
character.
well as in the selection of the memories themselves. In other words, the way certain memories exist with such warm nostalgia can be seen as largely distorted and
I'm full
subjective.
already, bro.
It's like when we think
Nasty.
about the past, we aren't really seeing it for what it was, but almost like a copy of a memory, which then represents that time and is distorted by several factors like emotion. Now, whenever I talk about nostalgia, memories, and being delusional, I always point out that we are basically always projecting. Either consciously or subconsciously, our brains are subject to bias and seek comfort. And if you aren't careful, you will project a reality onto the world or past that doesn't exist. I've talked about this in past videos, but this applies to everything from crushes and relationships and creating a fantasy about a person to looking back on the past and convincing yourself that if you could just do X, Y, and Z, you would be able to recreate that past, when in reality, it only ever existed in your mind.
I don't think you should ever try to recreate your past, bro. I never really subscribe to that. I think you can try to correct mistakes you made in the past in the present. But you gotta take your L, bro. You gotta just live with it at that end of the day, bro. Because like, if you made a mistake, you can learn a lesson from it, bro. I got so many L's, bro. Especially when it comes to girls. Like, bro, I wouldn't try to fix any of those situations, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, I learned lessons from them, and they funny stories now. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro.
Repeat the past.
The past is the past, bro. Learn from it, or that's it.
Why, of course you can.
If we aren't careful, we will walk through life unknowingly projecting our fantasies and fears, delusions and desires onto the world all around us, setting ourselves up for disappointment and self-destruction. But I'll talk about that more later on in this video.
Yeah, 360. When you're in the mirror, do you know what you see? When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me.
What's the idea of
Talk
walking on
about
the table while people
Generation
eating, bro?
Z.
On your knees, Angelina Jolie. I'm sucking hands on the knees, Angelina Jolie. Hey, hands on the knees.
Shoot,
Honestly,
I got that
whenever
shit
I
on.
think about us and our trends, what I immediately see is mass consumers cosplay. Our generation is constantly attempting to mimic some niche aesthetic they encountered online, thanks to our hyper-consumers culture and highly personalized algorithms. Gen Z is the fourth generation of the postmodern era after millennials, Gen X, and to some extent boomers. And while some would argue that we are post-postmodernism, I would argue that we are in the truest version of it because of the sheer amount of information we see due to the internet. The idea of a collapse of meaning and a world where it seems no one can agree on what is true anymore, or really anything at all, has never been as real as it is today. The way in which social media has democratized our individual realities and how there is a niche for everyone, and the way people are so obsessed with simulating some idea or concept through their cores or aesthetics is the most postmodern simulacra thing I can think of.
What am I looking at, bro?
They know I'm
The fact that he included I don't even know her name. Is her name Aaliyah or some shit? I forget, but she was on her For You page going crazy back in the day. Like, not even back in the day. I'm saying this shit like she old. It looks like a year or two ago. Damn.
You know I am that girl.
I mean, one of the biggest aesthetics right now is the Y2K trend.
She kind of got her own
which is
aesthetic,
really just
though.
a simulation of the early 2000s that isn't even accurate, but is still replacing it with its representation. The Y2K aesthetic draws
Y2K
inspiration from the
streetwear is
2000s,
fire, though.
but at the same time heavily deviates from it. And this is why I personally never liked Y2K fashion, as someone who can remember how people, including myself, dressed, because it was so random and messy and ugly. But what we paint as Y2K today is like an artificial, yesified, polished version of it. Honestly, the only celebrity that I'm aware of that accurately represents the fashion of that time is Pink Panthers. But to explain a bit more, I find it fascinating.
Them niggas
how many
never had
different
that shit
levels
on,
of
bro. I'm not gonna lie to you,
simulation
bro.
there are within the
Unless you talking about like AI, Nelly, niggas like that had actual swag, bro. They never had that shit on. Real shit.
online aesthetic core communities, and how we are at this
Them pop
point
culture
where
dudes was
new
not swag.
aesthetics today are being based
Most of them,
on
at least.
previous aesthetics that themselves were
The way he says
a
aesthetic
something previous
is
as
actually
well.
kinda weird.
So off the top of my head, I think of Lana Del Rey, who is this simulation of mid-century Hollywood glamour. But now people have built off of Lana's aesthetic and added other artists and expanded it to Coquette, and it's become like the simulation of the simulation. It's like everyone is attempting to imitate some online
What is these
core and
videos?
simulate some
I would hate life if
version
it looked
or
like this.
idea of something that doesn't really exist outside of the internet. But this leads me to my other point about why Gen Z is so obsessed with simulating the past and our early 2000s childhood. I think one of the most obvious reasons for this
Yo,
is
we
because
actually the last generation that's gonna grow up without technology. Like we the last ones. I remember Screet was talking about that shit like during the yacht party or some shit. But we dead as the last generation to grow up with no technology. Like no kid's ever gonna be able to experience a childhood like ours. Like we the last niggas, bruh. And I know them little niggas will be like, yo, you old. Nigga, I am 22. You're like, damn, nigga, no, I'm not old, bruh. You just in a TikTok trend, your brain's cooked, my nigga. No cap. It's okay though. Everybody's brain rotted, bro. Real shit. But yeah, bruh, it's like that is actually wild. I'm so interested to see what like the kid, I think what Gen Alpha, whatever their name is, bro. I'm interested to see how they develop because the nerd in me wants to just see like if there's gonna be any significant changes mentally, because we have access to so much shit. Like, are we gonna evolve as a species at a rapid rate? Fuck no. But I feel like their brains probably gonna be able to process information a lot faster because they're the TikTok algorithm and shit.
it's just fun.
Who knows?
And
We'll see.
comforting to do so.
Hold on, we gonna go through this, bro. Played this game, I sucked at it. Never seen this shit in my life. I seen these on TV all the time, never could get one. I forget what. Oh, Play-Doh. I think people still play with Play-Doh. Once again, seen these on TV, can never get them. Oh my god, yeah, bro. I still give me a Capri Sun. Yo, you give me a Capri Sun, bro, I'm chugging that bitch every time, bro. Been doing this since I was a kid. Oh yeah, just a bath, nigga? Yo, what? Oh my god, that game was fun as fuck, bro. Also, free spots still, niggas still get free spots.
We believe that there is a critical
Nah, I never had one of these, I don't think. Actually, no, I did. I did. I
period.
don't know why I'm saying D's with T's, bro. I don't get that, bro. My tongue's going on my tooth too much. Playful Penguins? Never seen this. Never seen
analogous
this.
to
Playground still exists.
imprinting
Never seen this.
in a baby chick.
Kids still also go to playgrounds, by the way. Never. I might have seen this at the doctors. The doctors used to have some crazy posters, bro. I remember they had a wall decal of Spider-Man that was so crazy at my local hospital. You know, you get your checkups and shit. My fault. You get your checkups and shit. Shit was
during
fire.
which we tend
I don't
to
know if they
form
still got
strong
those.
preferences
I had the trick yogurt once. That shit was fire.
for whatever objects we frequently encounter. Say, music, movies, celebrities,
Bro, this shit was so
clothing
fun.
styles, automobile designs, or whatever.
Life as a
our
kid is just so
attachment to
fire,
objects
bro.
of nostalgic significance are determined in our formative years, from childhood to early adulthood, is a worthy observation. As
I remember how I feel about
these
that shit.
objects suggest
It's
a
not
return
fake. I'm
to
telling
the
you, it's not
safety
fake.
Of home.
From now on, our troubles will be.
I actually don't remember Christmas at school when I was a kid, though. I really don't. I just remember one time I was snowing. It's a picture of this too. It was snowing real bad. It was a blizzard in like 2009. I was 8. Bro, my parents had me shoveling snow at 8 years old in a blizzard. I thought the shit was fun though. My dumb ass. Like, bro, I'm over here shoveling snow. I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, it's fun as hell. I'm making snow angels, throwing snowballs at my brother. Bro, my nose is red as fuck. I'm Rudolph. But I'm over here just having the time of my life, bro. If I had to shovel snow in a blizzard now, bro, I'm gonna be mad as hell. You know, like, shoveling snow. Come on, bro. Good thing we haven't had a blizzard, and hopefully we don't have a blizzard anytime soon.
Miles away.
So by admiring the music, movies, and aesthetics of the past, we are reconnecting
The way this
to
nigga
a
says aesthetic
warm,
is actually
familiar
crazy.
time that can make us momentarily feel safe and content. When the present is too chaotic and bleak, we can turn to the familiar past for comfort and solace. I see this as honestly an example of how our brains are basically always trying to protect us. Like, it's actually quite wholesome when I think about it. Like, when we go through incredibly traumatic events, our brains, to some extent, are incapable of accurately remembering the pain of those times, and for good reason. Your brain and body wants to keep you alive, and if we had instant, realistic access to all our traumatic moments, we wouldn't be able to cope and would probably all just die. This
I remember all my traumatic experiences, nigga. What is he talking about? I remember exactly how I felt in those moments. I remember exactly how it feels to be in those moments, bro. That shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? That shit sucks. To put it lightly. But yeah, bro. I'm the type of nigga that, like, I feel like, you know, you gotta remember your traumatic experience. You gotta remember how it feel, bro, so you don't make the same mistake again. And also so that you can basically just learn from it, bro. I think you can learn from every L.
Like,
Let me hear what
when
you said
we
again,
go
though.
through incredibly traumatic events, our brains, to some extent, are incapable of accurately remembering the pain of those times.
Yeah, no, I accurately remember the pain all the time, bro.
Present. Now, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to make this video was this specific point and how I myself can relate to it. So I've gone through a lot, and like many people who have experienced some form of trauma, a lot of times we just want to distance ourselves from the environment where it took place, even if that means having to quit a job or move as far away as possible. So for me, I lived in a town that had a lot of bad, depressing memories, but I got pretty lucky
is
and
crazy.
moved out of state. And it wasn't right away, but after about 2 years, I somehow, paradoxically, found myself feeling nostalgic for certain memories when I was in that environment, and was even almost romanticizing the sad and depressing aspects of it. It was like there was a soft comfort in the sadness
his
of the
art?
past. And when
He
I
can really
thought
draw.
about it, I thought I was accurately seeing that past and what that depression was really like, but I wasn't. It was watered down and distorted. It wasn't until I really processed all the baggage and then moved back that idealized fantasy immediately dissolved, because now I was there and face to face with the reality. So it's like when the illusion of your memory is confronted by the physical environment it's based on, it will immediately be destroyed because you can't naively idealize it now that you are in it. I've noticed this with so many things, from people to memories and places. I remember when I was younger and there was this one guy I was so obsessed with, and I was like subconsciously constructing an alternate reality in my mind and projecting that onto him, only to get to know him and have that delusion shattered. Or another thing is that I was born and raised in Key West, Florida, but moved to New York in my teens, and after the move, my brain like martyred my hometown, and there was this
I
almost
can't relate to
oppressive
any of this,
nostalgia
bro.
every time I thought about it.
I deadass
until I
can't-
visited later on and
can't
was
relate to this, bro.
immediately brought down to a more logical, objective reality. This has happened so many times about so many different things that now whenever I notice I'm experiencing nostalgia or romanticizing something or someone, I always remind myself that
Yo, my legs are
if I
cooked.
was physically at that time or place or with that person, I would probably realize that whatever I was imagining didn't really exist.
I think I did that one time with somebody. I don't know who, I don't know what, but like I kind of like idealized them one time. Not like idolized, but yeah, bro. And I gave them another chance to redeem themselves, but bro, that was like one time, and I don't even remember what happened with that, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, I just kind of removed them from my life. But oh no, I do remember what happened. They still turned out to be a terrible person. But yeah, like I don't really do that. I don't really do that with nobody. Like I got people I used to call friends, bro. I'm not gonna say their names. I know their names. I still remember their names, but I'm not gonna say their names. And some of those people have hit me up trying to be friends again. I was like, I don't really care about you, bro. So shit. And we just never ended up friends. We never, like, I never let them back in my life. And I never let them back in my life because I understood, bro, like exactly how I felt, why I felt it, and like how it made me feel in the moment, how you was treating me, all this other shit. Like I don't really forget things, bro. So like I forget things, but I don't really forget how I feel about things, bro. I don't do that like romanticizing bad places or bad times, bro. If anything, it kind of gets amplified, especially depending on how traumatic it was or how fucked up it was. So yeah, bro, I can't relate to this one. I don't know. If y'all can relate to that, comment down below, bro, or type in chat.
So now that we covered how our brain tends to gaslight us, we should also talk about the other, more tangible, outside reasons for nostalgia. Now, we all inevitably experience nostalgia, especially as we age, but millennials and Gen Z are still experiencing it much more intensely and at a much younger age compared to older generations.
What?
Now, I think that there is more than one answer to this question.
Oh, that's crazy.
With one of them being obvious and the other not so much. So, A lot of this just has to do with what we experienced towards late childhood and early adulthood. We came to age during a time of endless wars, the beginning
the reason why is because of COVID. Silly me.
political
It always goes back to COVID.
And to top it all off, the biggest recession since the Great Depression, which gutted the middle class. Now, these factors by themselves can obviously breed a lot of despair about the
I ain't
present,
know shit like this
but
was
when
going
you
on about
factor in
2008.
Trump winning in 2016, the political chaos that has followed ever since, and the second pandemic
Jesus
recession,
Christ.
how could anybody be surprised that we feel the way we do? 2 recessions in 10 years and the compiling of existential threats would lead anyone to look towards the past for comfort. As the paper discussed earlier, when we are faced with hard times, we tend to seek and find
My state
comfort
is
in
on
the
this map,
past,
bro.
especially the one that reminds us of the innocence and safety of childhood, where no matter how bad the world objectively was, we weren't able to.
I ain't gonna lie, the only place I really feel nostalgic about is 2020. It sounds crazy, but hear me out. The only reason is because I'm like an ambivert, bro. So I like to hang around who I hang around. I like to be outside, but I also really, really enjoy just being able to do simple things. I'm a very simple man. I don't need to do shit. I just need to have my game, my homies, and we good. We can vibe out, bro. I hoop. I'm crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 2020, 2021, bro. That's all I did. I went outside to hoop. When I went outside to go anywhere else, I wore a mask. I got my COVID test. I went to work. I was chilling. I played the game, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I grinded YouTube way harder, but you know, like, and also grinded streaming, but I was streaming from time to time. Bro, I was just chilling. Talk about basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I did. That was the only time I'm kind of nostalgic about, and it happened recently. It's like three years ago, so it's not like too far away. But these 4 years have gone by so fast, it doesn't even feel like it's 2024. It feels like it should be 2021 or 2022 at the latest. It don't feel like it should be 2024, bro. Like, this decade is going by so fast, and that's because like the time this displacement, I guess I don't know what to call it, bro. But the fact that we do not process time the same, bro.
Really grasp it, and therefore existed in a happier, carefree state. The second, and perhaps less obvious reason for all this is the internet and social media. The internet has completely democratized our world, but it hasn't led to the utopian interconnectedness that was promised. Thanks to neoliberalism, profits reign king, and to generate profit, you need engagement, which just so happens to best be made when the user is angry and irritated. What this means is that we are all unknowingly being trolled 24/7 in hopes that we'll get upset and either keep scrolling to feel better,
bro.
or maybe reply to someone in the comments and argue back and forth for eternity. What could possibly go wrong with this form of business model? I certainly can't think of any possible negative outcomes from this.
Donald Trump wins the political divide has become deadly with vaccine
Political disinformation is not a new concept, but it's
the political
health crisis is an epidemic.
stormed the U.S. Capitol building.
This shit's disgusting, bro.
Now, while the very real problems I mentioned earlier are reasons enough without algorithmic manipulation to feel some sense of despair and a longing for the past, what we consume on these apps also plays a big part in that. I know some studies say it's not proven and some say it's obvious, but at this point, as someone who has quit social media, I 100% understand how much depression, despair, division, and just overall negativity and overwhelm it causes. So it's like we have a world with very real, serious problems that need very real solutions, but now put a nonstop loop of doom and negativity in your face for 6 hours a day,
Jesus
and
Christ.
any sense of hope or positivity or solution will instantly be demolished. Again,
Honestly,
not
I'm just
trying to say the
desensitized to this
problems
shit,
we
bro.
face today
Like, bro,
shouldn't scare
listen.
the shit out of us.
Anybody that be on like streamers and shit like that, or like, bro, listen, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We're all chronically online. Like, I'm chronically online, bro. I'm a YouTuber. If you make content, you're on TikTok, you're chronically online. It's kind of a part of the job. It's kind of a part of the you know, the description of your career. But yeah, bro. You gotta develop a you know, thick skin. You gotta develop you know, just desensitization to some really fucked up shit. And that's good and that's a bad thing too. Like, it's good because you won't be able to get trolled for real. You won't really care. But it's bad because at the end of the day, it's like, damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you should really feel some type of way about a lot more things. It's the reason why we got people trolling about us the election, bro. Like, it's crazy.
But social media has made us so conditioned to negativity that anything positive, no matter how objective it is seen as highly suspicious or like some form of propaganda.
But this morning, for the first time, a new warning about something else: social media and what it means for kids' mental health.
There's a reason why depression skyrocketed after 2012 and the wide-scale adoption of the smartphone and social media. This gaslighting dopamine fear machine has so many of us in a stranglehold, which is creating an entire
Y'all gotta realize the
generation
internet
of
not real life,
hopeless,
bro.
angry people who are desperate for some sort of relief, which they can easily find in the nostalgic, simpler memories of the past. Now, another thing that I think is pretty interesting about millennials and Gen Z specifically is that we literally grew up alongside the development of social media and the smartphone, so we can vividly remember a time before it and a time after. Being born any later and social media is the norm. Born any earlier and it's completely foreign. I think I talked about this next part in a previous video, but I have this little theory that because our perception of the passage of time is really based on the amount of change happening in a certain period, and because the amount of change we've experienced is speeding up, we now feel older than we actually are. Really think about it though. The amount of social and technological change we have experienced in just like 25 years is incredible. When I think about before the iPhone and social media,
we actually have experienced so much different shit at a very
honestly
rapid
feels
rate.
like it was 3 decades ago, and at this point it's hard to keep up with.
It's like it feel like I get it, because I definitely feel older than I am sometimes. So he is definitely spitting facts, and it's like if you didn't grow up during that time, it's kind of like this is just your normal everyday Tuesday type shit. But yeah, bruh, it's like watching Jimmy Neutron, watching Avatar when it came out, it feels way longer than it actually was. Naruto is kind of different for me. I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like Naruto's been out that long, but it's really been out for 2 decades. But like watching Dragon Ball or watching these different shows feels like it's been way longer than it has been. It feels like, you know, it just, time feels fast, time feels slow. It's very odd. It's a very odd thing. I don't know if other people in my generation feel like this, bro. Yeah, bro. It's just different, bro. It's different, bro. It's different.
All the new craziness that's always happening.
But you gotta keep up with everything,
all this
bro.
Can cause us to feel older than we are, making us feel.
I don't feel older than I
more
am.
nostalgic for a past that feels unnaturally further and further away.
But I do be
When you
forgetting
really
that
think
I'm
about
young
it, though, our
sometimes, bro.
generation has
Like I be feeling like I be falling for the trap where I feel like I gotta be somewhere right now. I gotta be feeling like I gotta be successful right now, and I gotta be doing all this shit right now, or if it's too late for me to do certain things. But then I realize, yo, I'm 22 years old. Like it's not too late for me to actually be successful at what I want to be successful at, or it's not too late for me to start this thing. It's like I'm 22, bro. So I get that. I guess I'm in a tug and wars relationship with that concept of being
basically
too old,
been
being too
living
young.
through consistent destabilization, from the wars in the Middle East to the Great Recession, the introduction of social media, Trump, the pandemic, Ukraine, and all beginning with the attacks.
Bro, that Ukraine
in
shit is still
2001.
crazy, bro.
I remember growing up and people saying that this attack was the moment the 90s ended and the 2000s began, and when the optimism of the 90s died. Everyone kept saying that this was a bad omen for how the 21st century was going to play out and that it would end up defining it. Now, I remember thinking to myself, that is such an over-exaggeration. This was just a one-time horrifying event. But when you think about it, what was 9/11? It was the unthinkable becoming a reality. Something that completely destabilized the way the world has been functioning and boldly challenged our naive perceptions of safety and stability. So far, I think that description perfectly defines the 21st century. Event after event after event, even as recent as 2 weeks ago with the Supreme Court, makes us feel that we are living in some alternate Simpsons timeline where the unimaginable has basically become the expected. Out of everything I talked about in this video, I think that perhaps this is the biggest reason why we long for the past. We got lucky to be born just in time to experience a taste of normalcy before the world flipped upside down, and the unbelievably depressing state of it now would make anyone desperately cling to a time right before.
I wasn't expecting to get in my feels, bro. This is a good video. W video, bro.